UFC Fight Night, Pyfer, Adesanya, and we're going to break down PFL here at the end because we got some very bettable lines. So we're going to, don't forget about PFL. In fact, I would say don't forget about PFL. We're going to be focusing on PFL with some of the bets because I think these lines are a little bit better than UFC. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Congratulations to B-Dog Bets. Correctly predicted 179 significant strikes. It was 175. So
good shot. Nice job.
Right?
Nice job.
So B-Dog, hit me up in Discord. Tell me what your Wager Talk username is, or just put it in the comment section, and I'll apply that to your account. And we're going to do the same thing this week. Just tell us how many significant strikes there will be in the main event, Pyfer Adesanya. Leave it in the comment section below. Whoever's closest, you get a free 3-day pass. All right, let's break it down here. We're going to start in the UFC. We're going to go to the main event, Israel Adesanya and Joe Pyfer. My stance on Adesanya has not changed in the slightest. What do you think?
The stance on Adesanya has not changed. For me, I still have questions on the Joe Pyfer side, but I believe he's going to be able to overcome his shortcomings in this fight. The problem with Izzy, and I thought this was really evident after his interview, he was asked what the perfect game plan, the perfect result is for this fight. And Izzy's response was to just be not there, to not be hittable, to not get clipped, to stifle the wrestling, to be perfect. And that's what you should strive for. But Izzy hasn't been able to do this in a long time, be perfect and not get hit. And it's taken one shot in multiple fights to swing the fight completely in the other direction. So even if he's 99% perfect, the one shot is enough to swing the fight in Pyfer's favor. Cardio late would be a bit of a concern, but it's not like Izzy puts any kind of a pace on. It's really determined by if Joe Pyfer gasses himself out trying to push the wrestling or is swinging and missing and hitting air. And I just don't see Izzy being able to do it for 5 rounds. I think at some point Izzy's going to get clipped. Once your foot is out, you can't put your foot back in. And he's been out for a while. This is the longest layoff of his career. You could say that he's fresh, but cage rust is a real thing, whether fighters want to admit it or not. So I am on the Pyfer side. Little sprinkle on Pyfer by knockout, man. Just one shot to Izzy, we're going to have an issue. Or Pyfer by finish, because it could be a club and sub situation. We've seen Izzy not have the defensive grappling in his career to really do well, especially when he's hurt. So, yeah, I'll roll with Pyfer with you.
All right. I'm very happy that my stance on Izzy was confirmed by another UFC fighter this week in Rob Font. My stance on Izzy was, in that moment when he knocked out Alex Pereira, it just felt like he went to another realm. It was like he wasn't a human anymore. For a few minutes, he just summoned every ounce of energy he had, past, present, and future. It was like he borrowed energy from the future and KO's Alex Pereira. It's still goosebumps every time I watch it, how hard he hit Alex Pereira. He has never hit anybody that hard.
If you go back and watch it, his fist bounced off the head of Pereira. There's a recoil on that punch where it bounces off the temple of Pereira. And you're right. Just 1 in a million shot. It really is.
It was unbelievable. And I remember I said in the moment, that's the best it's going to get for Izzy. It's all downhill from here. And how could it not be? I mean, you look at this guy's the wars this man has been through, the people that he's fought. How many times has he fought for the title and gone the distance? And for most guys, if you fight for the title and you hold on to the title for a long time, that's the peak. I don't think that was the peak for Izzy. I think it was getting revenge on Alex Pereira. Loses, gets knocked out in the 5th round against Pereira, and then this fight here, this was it. Yeah, you're how does it get better for Izzy after that? So just when we see these guys that reach the pinnacle and then they come down, you can't get back to it. Just the wear and tear, it's too much. And what have we seen? loses a Strickland and kind of got dog walked as the later the fight went on. And then Duplessis, he gets choked out. And then, of course, Emo Bobby gets knocked out. Durability is gone. Just he's on the downside of his career. And if you're Izzy, someone that has fought the people that he has fought, are you telling me he's going to find it in his soul to get up to fight Joe Pyfer? I just think he's peaked, and I'm with you. It's Pyfer. Pyfer says he found Jesus, he found God. I hope Jesus has worked on the cardio with him because it needs needs a little help. I hope Jesus took him for a few jogs.
They did do a lot of walking back then. The cardio could be good. They did do a lot of road work back then.
Yeah, I hope he worked out with the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost to work on that. So, and yeah, I think there were like 4 people in the world that picked Jack Hermanson over Pyfer. I was one of them, and it was all about the cardio. It was the cardio, and so I liked that he went the distance against Gastelum. It was kind of a frustrating fight to watch, but you can just tell he was working on his cardio, managing his cardio. And I agree. If you have cardio issues, you need an opponent who's going to push it and who's going to make you tired. And it's just not Izzy these days. So it's Pyfer for me. I can't believe he's the underdog. I seriously can't. Are people really still buying into that this is the Izzy of old? That blows my mind. So I haven't bet it yet because I'm waiting. Just money keeps pouring in on Adesanya, and I don't get it. I will be probably day of waiting, but I will be playing Pyfer.
I'm going to give you a quick quote here to confirm what you're saying with Izzy. I listened to the media conference today, and they're asking him what's left for him. And he did the typical answer of, I'm just doing this for me.
Yeah, okay.
It's alarming when you hear that. And not that it's a bad thing. Like, I hope everybody's happy with what they're doing in life. Like, if you're happy getting in there, go for it. But it's alarming to hear that from a former champion, because once you're not striving and you've done it all, like you said, it's very, very difficult to have that motivation again. I thought that was telling that there wasn't, I want to be at the top. I want to be the best. Like, I'm just doing this for me. I just want to enjoy this. I want to have fun.
Okay.
Joe Pyfer
fighting
don't
Joe
just have
Pyfer.
fun. No.
Yeah, okay. This is just a me fight. Oh, yeah. Clearly, one of your goals has been to fight Joe Pyfer. That's been on the bucket list. And by the way, the fighter I was referring to that backed me up on the Izzy out-of-body experience was Rob Font. You can see that video. I saw it on Twitter. Rob Font said he saw Izzy walk in the building that night and was like, oh, he's going to win. Rob was like, I made these picks, and he was like, can I change my pick? Izzy's going to beat Alex Pereira. He's like, he just looked completely different. So, all right. No idea what happened there, but we move on to Alexa Grasso and
Check
Macy.
out my armpit, fellas.
Alexa Grasso and Macy Barber. I will go first. I know you and I are on the same page. I don't care who wins this fight. This is the easiest fight goes the distance on the card. Nobody's finishing anybody in this fight. Macy Barber's going to try and grind and clinch and wrestle, and Grasso's going to have to fight it off. These two are going to be fighting defensively basically the entire time. I don't trust Macy Barber, so I can't bet on her. I don't trust Alexa Grasso. I can't bet on her. So I'm just going to put in my parlays, this fight goes the distance. What do you think?
We haven't spoke about a side in this just yet. We had talked about the over, and little new information for me is I really like Barber. Like Barber in this spot. I watched a clip of them doing media pictures. Barber's in fucking shape.
Oh, okay.
Like, she is in shape. If anybody's motivated more in this fight, it's Macy Barber. She wants this loss back. So the motivation factor is already there. She looks like she's got her weight absolutely under control, which is always the question with Macy. And it's been the question since she got some modifications as well, if this was going to be a problem. She looks great. It's silly maybe to some people, but her skin looks good. Like, when you're not healthy, your skin is one of the first things to show it. we've said this before. Like when we're sick for a week and we have to do a video and we log in, it's like, oh, I look like death, absolute
You get
death,
pale.
right?
You look terrible.
And it's not even about her being tan. She looks really healthy. And that's been the problem with Barber. It's never been above the shoulders, being a doofus. That she's kind of got rid of that after she got some better coaches. It's been the physical problem. So if she's coming in healthy and motivated, minus 185 could look great. I do believe the first round will be tight. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty in this fight, I can rely on Macy Barber to bite down on the mouthpiece and absolutely go for it at the end here. I think she's got a get-up game where she's not going to be held down repeatedly. I like Barber, man. I like Barber. I mean, I would just go Barber by decision. Like you said,
Yeah.
I don't see a finish at all. So you could probably get a great plus money number on Barber by decision. But minus 185 on the money line, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. This Grasso run, yeah, she won the title, but like, is that becoming a fluke? If Valentina doesn't throw that lazy spinning back kick, are we ever even talking about this trilogy?
Yeah.
We're not. Valentina wins, and there's no point in booking it at all. Like maybe they do a rematch, but we don't have this great supposed trilogy where Valentina pretty much dog walks her the next two fights. So it's Barber.
All right, you're in on Macy Barber. Yeah, I'll just stick with fight to go the distance. So, all right, we have the movable force versus what's it movable? What's the saying? The immovable object
Force.
something.
The unstoppable
Anyway,
force and the immovable object.
well, we have the stoppable force and the movable object here because we have a retirement fight and a Nico Price fight. Something's got to give here. Michael Chiesa was supposed to fight Carlton Harris. Harrison backs out. And in steps Nico Price. I will tell you right now, I have never been more excited to bet on a retiring fighter than I am in this one. I can't believe that Chiesa is the one that's openly retiring in this one. Nico Price has a bunch of kids. He needs money, and he's kind of becoming the yes man, like Nico, like Sean Shelby or McMahon calls him, and Nico picks up the phone and goes, "Hello, I'll take it." So Nico Price is awful. He's been awful. Varentenikov knocks him out. Jacoby Smith chokes him out. He gets dominated by Temba Garimbo. And Michael Chiesa, he's still got a little something left in the tank. I think he's retiring at the right time. He's beaten the corpse of Tony Ferguson, but he did finish him. Max Griffin submitted him, and honestly, the cardio looked great. Goes to decision against Court McGee. I think Chiesa takes Nico Price down and just kind of holds him there. He's not going to knock him out because that's not what Michael Chiesa does. Michael Chiesa doesn't knock anybody out. I looked. He's like minus 800 money line, and the decision or submission is like minus 670. So you're not getting any. Like gifts on that prep right now. I will just look at Michael Chiesa and take him over Nico Price. What about you?
So we spoke about wanting to play overs. None of these fights are ending. We're not playing finish. Not doing it. We're not. I'm going to break this rule already. I'm already going to break it. Now, the reason I'm breaking it is because it's Nico Price. So, I mean, the number 62 ranked, 16-10, fresh off being knocked out how long ago?
This wasn't that long ago. It was like February.
A month, 2 months? Where are we at here?
It's like
February. It's March. I mean, it's March.
You might be right. If that chin is gone, like a 6-week break is just reckless.
I got a log of Amish butter in my fridge that's older than the time since Nico's been knocked out. I mean, I'm sorry. And I get what you're saying about him not knocking anybody out, but don't overthink this fight. Just play Chiesa by finish. We have already seen Nico Price throw a retirement fight once in his career.
That's a great
I've
point.
never seen someone be unconscious, face down on the mat, and up and hugging his opponent faster than Nico Price was. Massive questions about that fight. So, what's another retirement fighter finishing him going to do for him? He doesn't care. He just needs the paycheck. The other thing is, we have no idea about the health of Nico Price coming in. We've seen this guy come in with single knee sleeves. His base is a massive problem, and you saw it against Veretennikov, who's not a wrestler, be able to toss Nico Price to the side and into the cage. He has no base anymore. I think Chiesa is going to find his way to his back early, and it's going to end by submission. But just take finish. I think, what is it, minus 160 last I checked?
Yeah,
Probably steeper
it's
now.
very bettable. I mean, you're getting minus 800 on the money line, like minus 160 for finish. So you're
like even
already
the 1.5
breaking
under 1.5 rounds is minus 120. If Chiesa gets to the back of Price within a minute of the first round, he's not getting out of the round. It's not going to happen.
Fair. All right, move on to Juicy J, Julian Erosa against Larian Douglas, making his UFC debut. What do you think about this one, Jim?
I am terrified to pick anything in this fight because I could see it going a million different ways. This is not another fight that I'm like jumping to play overs on at plus money because it's Julian Erosa. I do believe in Larian Douglas, but he's just untested at this level. So the untested fighter at this level of MMA has been a real problem this year. And I think that possibly could continue here. Like what I see from Larian Douglas, but the level of competition is poor. Cam Teague, one of our favorite fades. Of course he knocks him out.
That was
of course,
great.
Right? Julian Erosa is still dangerous. He's still chinny. This is one that I would venture to play unders, but I'm probably going to have absolutely zero bets on this fight. I can see this going a bunch of different ways. Gun to my head on a decision is I will ride the trend of the debuting Contender Series fighter not looking as good as they're supposed to be. Don't be shocked if Julian Erosa pulls off an upset here.
Yeah, one of the calls I got right last week, which admittedly there were not a lot of them, was Danny Silva to beat Pink Panther, and it played out like we thought. Pink Panther too excited, gassed himself, and once he didn't get the finish in the first round, he had nothing to fall back on. And I think Larian Douglas is way better than Pink Panther. I think he's pretty well rounded, but what happens if Julian Erosa gets this on the ground? What happens if there's a scramble and Julian Erosa gets a hold of the neck? He can choke anybody out. Guillotine on Christian Rodriguez and guillotine on Ricardo Ramos. Now, the reason he got the choke on Ramos was Ramos took him down and just he Ricardo Ramos himself, which was put your neck where it doesn't belong. But Julian Erosa is dangerous like that, and I'm with you. I could see this fight going the distance, like he did against Milky Costa. But yeah, if Douglas isn't careful and not paying attention to the submissions, I totally could see Erosa, pulling off a random finish. If you're taking Julian Erosa, you're taking him by finish, because I don't think he's at this point. I don't think he's polished enough to, outpoint Larian Douglas. So I actually think this fight to go the distance is a sneaky one. You're getting a really good price on plus money. Larian Douglas striking should be much better, but one mistake, if he thinks he's got the finish against Erosa and doesn't quite get it, then he's in trouble. So I think fight goes the distance, and if I'm looking for underdogs on this card, I think there's a lot of underdogs that are live. I don't know how many I'm going to play, but if you want to sprinkle every single underdog that I like, I would say Julian Erosa is live, just because you're right. The Contender Series debutantes, they have not looked that good. Larian Douglas is a little bit better than some of these other guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if Julian Erosa pulls off a shocker. So move on to Malik versus Belgaroui. We have a mixed bag of emotions against Belgaroui. He cost us big time. He looked incredible against Bakoyev. We liked him on Contender Series because he was fighting a guy that we thought was kind of a bum He looked terrible against Marco Tulio in his first Contender Series fight, but he made me eat my words here on Bakoyev. I thought Bakoyev was going to tear him apart limb from limb, and not so fast, my friend. Belgaroui looked fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. I mean, Malik, strong, power puncher, not high volume, not long. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, that's the same guy that Belgaroui just finished in the third round in Bakoyev. So he just figured out how to use his length in his last fight. I thought it was a masterful job with it. And we had a big bet against him, and I remember feeling like a dipshit. And the good thing about being in the MMA space is people don't, say anything to you in the comments section. They kind of let it go. So what a horrible read on this fight. And it was, but Belgaroui, if he fights like he did in his last one, I think he's going to look great here. I think Malik's going to be in for a surprise, and Belgaroui's length can pop him at distance. If Malik can get inside, get Belgaroui down, he's certainly live. He can certainly knock anybody out, but I don't know. The version of Tricoli that we saw last fight was a little bit different than the one he fought. And then the Cody Brundage, he was beating the shit out of him. And of course, Brundage did Brundage things. I got Belgaroui. What do you think?
Another dog. I'm with you on Belgaroui. Level of competition for Malik is terrifying. Terrifying to be a favorite. Yeah. Tudorovic, Nick Klein, Cody Brundage, Tricoli. I think all four of those guys are in our top 20, like bad fight IQ category. Don't get this Cody Brundage fight twisted. He was beating the brakes off of Cody, and Cody got that overturned after to a no contest. So.
Who does that, by the way? Who goes before the committee after the fight is over and argues to get it overturned?
The only reason has to be is there was a pay difference.
Oh.
Like if you're going to make $5,000 more,
you do it. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that helps you. Like, hey, if it's worth the $5,000. But I think Belgaroui's live in the spot. I think he's a very good dog on this card. Malik technically still has that 0. Still hasn't, had to come back down to earth. So this very much could be the spot. Belgaroui's impressed us.
Move on to Terrence McKinney and Kyle Nelson. Here's another dog that I think is worth playing. So a lot of people in the space will say, don't bet if you're going to bet Kyle Nelson, just wait and bet him live. And that is true of Terrence McKinney fights, but the books are onto it. If you've watched Terrence McKinney fights recently, if he doesn't get the finish, the books are already ahead of you.
So glad you brought this up. Because, that's what everybody, they're way ahead. They're not even watching the fight. They're watching the clock.
That's exactly right.
That's
it. Yeah. Has the clock stopped? Are we at 2.5 minutes? Because you're not getting the discount that you think you are. And anybody that says, well, don't bet Kyle Nelson before, just wait. You'll get a better live number. You won't. You're not going to get a better number. The books are too freaking smart about it. So if a bunch of dipshits on YouTube know it, I assure you the line makers know it. So I think Kyle Nelson's live for a win here, and it's a Terrence McKinney fight. You just got to survive a couple minutes. You got to survive the early onslaught. And I was chuckling that Terrence McKinney said he's made changes. He wants to draw out his fight a little bit longer. No, he doesn't. He says this every single time, by the way. He's said this multiple times, and it just doesn't happen. This man, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 7 fights have ended in the first round. I have Kyle Nelson at plus money. What do you think?
Agree with you 100%. It's Kyle Nelson for me. At plus 154, I think it's a fantastic bet. And like you said, you're not going to get a better number. You most certainly do something with this fight not to start round 3.
Oh, yes.
If you can't make money on this fight not to start round 3, you're not doing your job. This is the free square of all free squares. Terrence could get to him. Now, he's made changes. Guess what? He's still training with the same guys. Take a wild guess who Terrence McKinney's main training partner is.
Oh, man. I don't know the answer.
I'll give you a hint. It's somebody who I've had very good success betting on.
Oh, is it Kevin Holland?
It's Kevin Holland. So you tell me if you
Oh,
think
say
that
more.
Kevin Holland and Terrence McKinney putting their two heads together to come up with a good game plan. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell this is any different. If the only difference would be is maybe that McKinney goes to the wrestling early, but Kyle Nelson knows how to stay safe in the wrestling, and Kyle Nelson's not an idiot. You don't think Kyle Nelson knows the assignment? Keep your damn hands up and circle on the outside of the cage, and if he takes you down, protect your neck. Other than that, it's Kyle Nelson all day after 2.5 minutes.
Can you imagine Terrence McKinney and Kevin Holland coming up with a game plan?
I'd die to be in
just,
those fighter practices and see what's being said. I would love it. Someone
I
get
would
me
love
that
it.
footage.
Yeah, and, Kyle Nelson, he's kind of one of these jack of all trades. But listen, make no mistake about it, he should have gotten credit for the finish on Matt Frevola.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ref
Agreed.
screwed it up.
Yep.
That was going to be a finish. And then who does he lose to before? Steve Garcia. Well, Steve Garcia is nuking everybody.
Yes.
So Kyle Nelson, he's I think he's durable. If you want to tell me, well, he did get knocked out. Yeah, that's by Steve Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's durable enough to survive the early onslaught. Once you see that Terrence McKinney fade, you're going to be very happy you got a plus money ticket on Kyle Nelson. And my advice is do not wait. Do not wait to try and bet Kyle Nelson live. First off, the books, the feed on Paramount Plus and others is way behind, so you're not going to get the best number. So, all right, we move on to Ignacio Bahamondes versus Musayev. What do you think about this fight, Jim? This is an interesting one.
I knew you were going to throw this one to me. I want no part of this fight.
Fair.
So, but Bahamondes to me is completely untrustworthy. That's for starters. Musayev, really highly touted and doesn't look as great as everybody thinks he is when he shows up. So I got two guys that are untrustworthy. I got two guys with conflicting styles. To me, this has fight goes the distance written all over it. Ugly,
Amen,
garbage
brother.
fight, boring
Amen.
fight. Bahamondes doing everything he can to lose a fight. This is one of those fights where Bahamondes lands a bunch of strikes, but Musayev's not bleeding. All Musayev does is wrestle Bahamondes, but he looks like his face went through a wood chip. And at the end of the fight, we say to ourselves, we have no idea what the judges are scoring. And it's not going to shock us either way about the card. So just take the over. What is the actual round line in this? Can we get, I'm assuming it's 2.5, right? Plus 130 over 2.5. I am in.
Oh, I'm in.
I am in on that for sure.
Yeah.
That'll be in my account.
I think Bahamondes is just like the version of Daniel Zellhuber. Just like, long, rangy, looks great. How did he lose? It's just like leaves a lot to be desired. Bahamondes, you can take him down. Sometimes when you see these tall guys, their height can be a bad thing, and you can take him down. That's what Fiziev did. Fiziev, beautiful takedowns just to win the rounds, and I think that's what Musayev can do because you don't really want to stand at range with Bahamondes. He can strike, but why would you mess with that? So I'm with you 100% on the over. I love the over on this one. We can do our overs rant now. And by the way, sorry guys, I have allergies, so if you see me muting, I'm sneezing and trying not to sneeze into the mic. I think I got most of them. You want to talk about like kind of what the word is from UFC? We're seeing a ton of overs, and we think it's just because these fighters aren't prepared for the fights. Why?
They're unprepared, and it's not because they don't want to be. They're over-prepared, which is making them underprepared. They're overtraining. They're overtraining because they don't know when they're fighting. They're not peaking at the correct times. A 2-week difference in a training camp might as well be an eternity if you're trying to peak as a professional athlete. We know this. We see it in the NFL. If a guy's injured in training camp, oh God, look out. It's going to linger for the whole season. Holdout, that's a great one. Best one. Contract holdout, bet they're under. Bet they're under on their total. It's a death wish. Who do we have this year? Trey Hendrickson? right? Holds out. You're
Yeah,
like, oh, take the under on the sacks there. Hamstring
receiver
injury week 6.
receiver for Washington. Who held that?
McLaurin.
Who's the
Terry
yeah,
McLaurin. Hurt.
awful.
Yep.
Ask anybody that drafted him on their fantasy team.
Mm-hmm.
Nuked him.
Yeah, it's all it takes. So if you can't peak at the right time, you end up having these really, really odd fights because you're not at your best. And we're not seeing finishes because guys are forcing them. They're not prepared to go and get them physically or mentally. They're just forcing them. How many times recently have we seen a guy go for a choke where the armchair quarterbacks watching the fights are going, he's not even close to in the right position? Like, what are you doing? You can't finish that from side control, or
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no lead into anything. So I think we're seeing a overprepared physically and underprepared mentally situation, and it's just lending to a lot of these fights going over. If they start round 2 and you can just get live lines, bet them to go. If there's a foul, bet it to go. I don't care what the foul is. It could be they got to cut a piece of tape off the glove. If they stop the action, bet the fight to go the distance. It's wild how much it's happening.
Every single fight that had a foul last card. If you just live bet to see, you didn't need to do anything. You didn't need to do any research. You didn't need to do any write-ups. All you had to do was just watch the fights, and the second there was a foul, live bet over, and you would have swept the card. So, so basically, what you're saying is UFC they're not organized up atop.
Yes.
They're not giving these guys notice for when they're fighting. So you have all these fighters that are in camp, and they're going, "I just got to stay in shape." Oh, okay. I got to fight in a couple weeks. Okay, all right, thanks. And therefore, you don't have 6 weeks to prepare for an opponent, to get dialed in. You're just kind of staying in shape and you're doing the vanilla training, and you don't really have that. Look at the White House card. How thrown together that was.
Yeah.
Steve Garcia was like, yeah, I found out a week ago.
Yeah.
Like, what? This is the most touted card. You guys are we're gonna have 7 championship fights. Maybe 1. And then Steve Garcia. They asked me a week ago.
I heard from a UFC fighter, just throughout a few people that I know, and they're saying, like, look, I either train all out or not at all. Like, my body, if I just do the maintain thing, it becomes wrecked. It's just wrecked. So it's either I'm in camp rushing towards that peaking moment, and if I'm just status quo, I'm in trouble. My body's going to start to fall apart. My back's going to hurt. My neck's going to hurt. My knees start to ache because you're not pushing. You're not stretching those tendons. You're not working those quick twitch muscles. You're just maintaining. So very telling.
Yeah. So honestly, I think moving forward, I'm going to sprinkle every fight to go the distance, because what did we see last week? You get a couple of those plus 600s.
Yeah.
The Montes fight. We had a foul. As soon as there was a foul, this fight's going a Montes Tricoli fight with the distance. We had a foul in there. So, all right, we move on. Chase Hooper and Lance Gibson Jr. I kind of had a nice little thought that I had a decent little read on this fight, and I'm starting to get more and more confident on this one. So I want you to go first and see if we land on the same conclusion.
Okay. Chase Hooper duped everybody, didn't he?
Duped us.
Duped everybody. Duped all of us. I don't know if it's I sure hope it's not just this is what Chase Hooper is, because I thought he made some really, really good strides against Slava, Guida, and Miller. But he looked like the old Chase Hooper against Fernandes. It was very, very poor. He didn't look like himself in the guy that we've seen. Lance Gibson Jr. gets thrown out there and is a deer in headlights against Bobby Green. That's the best way for me to describe that fight. Was a guy who was just like, the whole time he's going, oh my God, I'm in the UFC. Oh my God, I'm in the UFC. Oh my God, there's Dana White. Oh my God, I'm fighting Bobby Green. Why is Herb Dean in here? Oh shit, he's reffing my fight. The stars were very bright for him. He's got that out of the way. He's got a full camp. Here's my problem. I don't think that Lance Gibson Jr.'s striking is nearly on par with the guys that Chase Hooper's been fighting. I don't think that he can land the knockout damage to Hooper. I find myself really liking Hooper in this spot. For just, I can't bring myself to bet him. I can't. I got to see what we're going to get from him. But I'll be watching this fight very, very intently and close. I'm going to land on Hooper. I don't believe that Lance Gibson is ready to be here in the UFC. I just don't.
I landed on the same thing. I went to, I went back and watched. Hooper was winning the striking battle against Fernandes. He left his chin open. He got hit really hard by a guy who, at his best, can strike really, really hard. Before that, gets the wrestling going against Jim Miller. Gets Clay Guida down, dominates Borshev, gets him on the ground, gets a submission. Jordan Levitt gets Nick Fury. Gets who does he lose to? Steve Garcia. Gets nuked by Steve Garcia. So what are we seeing from Chase Hooper? What happens when he loses? Well, he gets sparked. He gets knocked out. So in my mind, I'm going, well, if Lance Gibson's going to win, it's got to be by knockout because Chase Hooper, he's got cardio for days and he can just outwork you. Lance Gibson ain't knocking anybody out in UFC. This being a split decision against King Green
bullshit
was awful. That, like, I went back and watched it, and I'm with you. Lance Gibson looked lost, and you got to remember with Lance Gibson, this guy was in Bellator. Nobody wanted him.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Nobody wanted him. When Bellator's over, he goes and fights a guy who's 19 and 40. He gets done in Bellator, and he fights a guy who's 19 and 42 in Muckleshoot Fight Night 9. And he did so well, they invited him back to Muckleshoot Fight Night 11. And now he's in UFC fighting Bobby Green. What the what? Makes no sense. Gibson is low volume. I think Chase Hooper could put a clinic on him. If he gets to his waist and gets him down on the ground, I think Lance Gibson looks really lost really fast. And Gibson does not throw hard enough shots. He doesn't throw enough shots to make Chase Hooper, Chase Hooper scared, of the durability. And, not for nothing. After he gets knocked out by Steve Garcia, he goes and he does a grappling. That's fine. But his very next fight against Nick Fiore, he doesn't screw around and he doesn't stay on the feet. He gets him down on the ground. He gets Jordan Levitt down on the ground. Borshev gets him on the ground. Clay Guida, Jim Miller. I think he learns his lesson. Chase Hooper ain't made for a boxing stand-up game. Let's get this to the ground. Let's not let this happen again. You've recovered. This knockout was in August, so I think his chin is fine. I'm liking Chase Hooper more and more. So, all right, we're seeing Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. File this away in the I don't understand why this guy is an underdog. Why is Tybura an underdog to Tyrell Fortune? Is it really just because there's a 17-3 record for Tyrell Fortune?
I'm worried about this.
Oh, wow.
But we haven't heard it yet. If this comes out in the next 24 hours for Tybura, that's the only reason that I could think of. 27-10, a lot of fights.
Okay.
Been here a long time. Still competitive, though. Has shown no signs of it. Gets the loss against Aaliyah. Shit happens. It's heavyweight. But before that, takes the guy who can't grapple down, smokes him. Takes the guy who's not good and smokes him. Wins by decision. Majority. Okay, unanimous decision. Tyrell Fortune has no business being here other than they need a guy to throw into the cage. Because right now, they don't have a roster of fighters deep enough to throw more guys out. So what do? They take a page from the PFL. We have fighters 1 through 5 that need fights, but we only have 10 fights on the roster, and we can't fill those spots. I know. Let's look at Lux Fight League. I know. Let's call Jungle Fight. I know. Who just lost in Cage Warriors? I know. Where's Jay Ellis?
Right? They're one step away.
This is what the UFC is nowadays. They have to get these guys fights. They're getting them replacements. And they dug up the corpse of Tyrell Fortune, who has not been relevant since, Cyborg was the Bellator champ? That's the last time Tyrell Fortune's been relevant? I don't understand him being the underdog. I think if this is one takedown and Tybura on top, Fortune's in a world of hurt. World of hurt. He's a bit of a turtle on his back. People are going to talk to you about the wrestling credentials of Tyrell Fortune. Let him go on and on and on about it. Keep in mind that he wrestled, what, in like 1997? That he was a good wrestler. Yeah, he's not UFC level. And Tybura, for being 40 and being a heavyweight, he's still a UFC level fighter. So it's Tybura for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's take a look at who Tybura has lost to. D'Elia just comes guns a-blazing, throws a million punches, and is like, I'm finishing you in the first round or I'm toast.
Yep.
And he gets win. Spivak, if you just look at Tapology, go, oh, he lost by armbar. Tybura was on top of Spivak, ready to do damage. Mm-hmm. And Spivak gets this random armbar. It was a very random win that you watch it and you go, God, how did he lose that one? And then who else did he lose to? He got knocked out by Tom Aspinall. So you're telling me he loses by a random armbar and two very aggressive, hardcore strikers? Tyrell Fortune is none of that. None of that. He's low volume and
low cardio.
Low cardio. He can kind of give up here a little bit. So PFL, here's another one. Bellator. Okay, yeah, he gets out Bellator. Fights twice in PFL. Now he's just kind of done. So he fights Myron Dennis. Then he fights a 53-year-old
Tony Lopez,
52-year-old Tony Lopez, who's been in 95 fights. I know that sounds made up, but yeah, 95 fights. And then he fights. We're like, well, you know, you beat one. Let's see if you can beat the other, brother. And this guy shows up at 286 pounds. I'm sorry, a tub of shit. Go look at that fight. This guy, it was shocking that this man was a UFC fighter. And Tyrell Fortune couldn't get him out of there until the round 3 doctor stoppage. I think a doctor stopped it because of the guy's high cholesterol. It's Tybura all day. He gets on top of Fortune once, it's over.
This is a top 10 heavyweight. He's ranked 11th. He's borderline top 10 against a guy that nobody wants.
Yeah, it's Tybura as an underdog all day in this one. I don't understand this line in the slightest. So, Casey ONeil and Gabriela Fernandes. I had a good read on Casey ONeil. There's been some fighters on this card. We had a pretty good read on it. Where do you stand on this fight?
Well, this fight is this is the most excited I am to hear your opinion. Is this fight?
Okay.
I love listening to you break down Casey ONeil because you've had an awesome read on Casey ONeil. I'll spoil it with my bad opinion first, and then you can drive it home and just slam dunk it. I can't trust Casey ONeil. That's my problem. You say Casey ONeil should have an advantage in the striking, should have advantage in the wrestling. Just haven't seen her completely come back from that knee injury. It was a bad knee injury. It took multiple surgeries, and I just haven't seen the same fighter. She gets the win over Luana Santos, but Luana Santos isn't great. She doesn't do anything excellent. It's a decision. Goes to the cards. Look at it however you want to look at it, whether she won or lost. But I didn't see any kind of like an improvement. And there's something to be said about fighters that are often injured because a lot of their time is spent healing, getting their body ready, and they don't have the time to improve on skills. So until I see something new from Casey ONeil, I can't bet on her. Not the biggest fan of Gabrielle Fernandes either. The fact that you go to a decision with Stoliarenko, she gets the win against Kong Wang. You know, that's aging well. Flash win. The split against Judas, I thought Judas won, but it was close. Other than that, losing to Bleda, losing to Jazz, but now we're going back to 2023. It's a different fighter. I'm not laying any chalk in this fight. The only way you bet this fight is if you can get plus money. And I just don't see anything worth saying to you guys I'm betting or betting myself.
This fight's going the distance. I don't see who finishes who in this one. Gabriel Fernandes, yeah, it's a flash knockout of Kong Wang. It goes down as a choke, but basically she hit her once. Kong Wang gets flattened. and she jumps on the choke. But before that, a lot of decisions and stuff. Gabriel Fernandes has terrible takedown defense. I think that's where Casey ONeil gets this job done. I like Casey ONeil a lot.
We're on Casey ONeil this time. Okay.
Yeah, we're on Casey
I will
ONeil.
go by what Andy says about Casey ONeil because he has talked us off plays and got us on plays on Casey ONeil for a couple years now.
Yeah, so the knee injury, obviously big concern. And yeah, the Luana Santos was dip your toes in the water. Like, can you make it? Can you manage your new knee? Your body feels different. As somebody that's been through 3 knee surgeries, I get it. Your body just feels different. You don't move the same. You're not as flexible. You don't have the power. It's just different, and you got to figure out how to deal with it. I like she's taking all this time off. I think people are going to see this as a big knock. I think she's been healing up, getting stronger, and I
hope
getting better. I like Casey ONeil a lot. I think she gets Gabriel Fernandes down. I think there's a lot of control time, and unless Fernandes gets some kind of big, huge strike, I think it's Casey ONeil all day. So, yeah, I'll take Casey ONeil, and I'll take Casey ONeil by decision. So. All right, move on to Navajo Stirling and Bruno Lopes, our guy Navajo Stirling, who we've had an interesting past with. I don't know. Why is he always like minus 600 or like minus 800? Every fight, they're just like, this guy's the most amazing fighter the world has ever seen. And you're like, God damn, I got to pay minus 800 to bet on this guy. And he ain't finishing anybody. He's only had 8 professional fights. He's young. And it kind of reminds me of Michael Morales, where you're getting these huge lines, but you kind of have to put into it that he's going to get better. Like, okay, he was a big favorite against Tokos, goes the distance. All right, next fight, you got to believe that he's going to get better, so we're going to bake that into the line. Oh, yeah, Bellotto. Okay, we believe he's going to get better, so the books are putting that into the line. And now here we go again. Why is this guy the one the books are like, nope, you got to pay minus 800, minus 600 to bet on this guy? I don't get it. He should win because apparently the UFC loves him, and they just keep giving him bums. Bruno Lopes is a bum, make no mistake about it. I have Navajo Stirling, but I'm not betting it. What do you think?
Fight goes the distance.
This is a great one to go the distance. Yeah.
Fight goes the distance. Don't care who wins. Just, both these guys. Not interested in either of them going forward. Bruno Lopes is slow, bad defense. This could be the worst fight on the entire card. This could be one of those fights where we're just, is this thing over yet? Like, can we tell them to stop? We don't need to see the 3rd round and just call it for Stirling now. If you're picking a side, it's Stirling by decision. I don't think Lopes is going to be able to hit him. Really don't. And I don't think Stirling's going to do a whole lot to pull away and get a finish. It's Navajo Stirling by decision. At some point, this guy's going to get a finish. But until that point, I think you just ride the streak and continue to bet him by decision. I've seen no finishing instinct, no power, no combinations. It's like he's learning on the job still. And, Lopes has a ceiling. We've seen this. We saw it on Contender. When he lost on Contender, he's got a ceiling. So to me, it's just fight goes, walk away.
Yeah, Stirling's going to have decent volume, but you're right. He doesn't have the KO power at this point. I don't want to say the power, but just the knowledge, just the advancement at UFC. I mean, the guy's got 8 fights. Like 3 of them are in UFC. It's kind of crazy. So, can't trust Bruno Lopes in the slightest. Like you said, bad defense, got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby. So I agree. Stirling by decision is a good one. Fight goes the distance. Agree. So, all right, Ricky Simone and Adrian Yanez. This is an interesting one. Where did you land?
I landed on Yanez. I think that Yanez is going to be too slick in the striking. Simone, we always have questions about his game plans after we saw it firsthand, whether he's going to decide to be a wrestler or not. He's fallen in love with his hands. He tried to be the wrestler against Ronnie Barcelos, and what did we say? Ronnie's going to be able to handle him. He's going to be able to handle the wrestling. He's going to be able to handle this. The speed advantage and the head movement of Yanez is going to be a real issue for Simone. Yes, he's got power, but it's still clunky wrestler striking. And a guy with the experience of Yanez and the head movement and the combinations and the calf kicks that he throws as well could come in handy. I don't think that Simone is going to have that knockout shot. And without that knockout shot, I'm going to trust the guy who's much more seasoned on the feet in Yanez to be able to pick him apart on the feet. A couple of those calf kicks damage that front leg of Simone. I don't think he's getting a takedown. At that point, it's target practice. I like Yanez. I like Yanez by decision, too. This is
Simone,
another one that goes.
Yeah, this is another one of those, like, when we just see when guys have just been doing it for so long and their game has been built on wrestling, and they're like, you know what? I ain't got it in me anymore to be the wrestler. It just takes too much effort and too much strength and flexibility and cardio, and that's what we're seeing from Simone. His wrestling's just gotten worse and worse and worse over the years. And you go from this amazing fight against Song Yadong. He loses to Batista, loses to Oliveira, where both of them got hurt in that fight. This Javi Basharat, this is just kind of a random, he flatlined Javi Basharat. He really did. But then he kind of struggled against
the UFC.
Keep in mind,
he gone.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And then he kind of struggled against Cameron Smotherman. Goes down as a decision. It wasn't the best performance. And then, Barcelos. I'm with you. If Simone decides not to strike, or I'm sorry, not to wrestle, it's Yanez all day. But I also think if Yanez just fights off one or two takedowns, I think Simone's going to bail on it. Like, his percentage of takedown hits has really gone down over the years. He used to chain wrestle. Now he can't do it anymore. So Yanez coming off a very, very close, close loss. By the way, he would really wish we would have gotten Adrian Yanez against Christian Quinones. We would have made a lot of money betting on Adrian Yanez over Christian Quinones. So, it's Yanez. Too good with the striking. He loses to Jonathan Martinez with leg kicks, and Rob Font. He was beating Rob Font, and then he just got too excited, gassed himself out, and Rob Font gets the knockout. But I believe in Yanez's striking. I don't believe in Simone's striking. I don't believe Simone is that interested in doing the wrestling thing anymore. So it's Yanez. So,
do you remember why he lost by leg kicks to Martinez?
What's that?
Do you remember why he lost by leg kicks to Martinez?
No, why?
Remember he went into the fight with a torn ACL?
Oh, that's right. He did.
And then proceeded to get his leg kicked off by Martinez.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah,
I'd like to see that fight again with a healthy Yanez. That'd be an interesting one.
I'd be interesting. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Move on to Thainara and Bruna Brasil. Pretty straightforward fight for me. It's Thainara. It's Thainara all day. You never like to lay heavy prices on a women's fight. This is one that's an exception for me, at least. I think Bruna Brasil is absolutely awful, and Thainara's going to dog walk her. What do you think?
Bruna Brasil's last fight, Bruna got the gift of all gifts because she fought a girl that was going to march forward and do nothing and put her hands down and bark at her and grunt and throw hooks. And Brasil looked good in the first round. By the end of the first round, Souza's pressure had Brasil mentally broken. Absolutely mentally broken. She was terrified after that. And we just saw Souza, who's, man, is she not good. Souza. She's bad. And we are going to make money betting against her in her next fight. She almost had Brasil finished, 2, 3 times. Caught her a couple good shots in round 2, a couple in round 3. And instead of following up, put her hands at her waist and marched forward. Or had her hurt on the cage and wrestled. Thainara is not going to make those mistakes. I think the second that Brasil gets hit with something heavy, or she gets her back taken by Alexia because she can grapple, I think Brasil's looking for her door. I don't think she's long for the career in MMA. This is somebody who's already switched camps and gone to fighting nerds and tried to rediscover herself, and it's just not working. She's getting worse. She's nothing but risk adverse. She dances around the outside. There's no power. There's no wrestling coming anybody's way. She's trying to win a decision, and she's not good at it. So, to me, it's Thainara, and I'll drink the Kool-Aid. I'll go Thainara by finish. I think she gets to the back of Brazil when Brazil looks for a way out and locks up a submission.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add. Thainara is just going to be stronger, better, and yeah, Bruno Brazil just leaves a lot to be desired. I has there ever been another situation? I'm trying to think where you have a UFC fighter who fought 5 fights. All right, so 5-fight UFC veteran, and they're like, go fight on road to UFC.
Kind of weird, right?
Like that is them telling. That's like if you work in an office and you go on, LinkedIn or whatever, and your job is posted now hiring. Like, what is that? Here, hey, 5-fight veteran, thank you very much. Hey, you're gonna fight on road to UFC. Like, wait a minute, I'm already in the UFC. Why do I have to go on the road to UFC? No. Just
on the
just
road
go there.
again. I just can't wait to be.
Oh yeah,
that is perplexing. That is perplexing. Did she win?
It's really weird.
Did she win road to the UFC, or did she just have this one fight?
She just fought once and won it by decision. And if you'll remember this, Ming Shi,
yes,
we had a huge bet on Fang, and Fang is kicking her ass and then eats the nastiest head kick I think I've ever seen. They took her out on a stretcher. We lost a lot of money on Fang. Fang was whooping her ass, and then just bang, she just lands this monster leg kick or head kick. So yeah, Thainara will be in parlays. I think this is money line is probably the safest. So I see no upside in Bruno Brazil. So all right, we're gonna go to PFL, and then we're gonna do our parlay buster, and we're gonna do woulda, coulda, shoulda. Real quick, guys, running a lot of specials over at Wager Talk. We're still running the buy 3 days, get 3 free. So it's just 6 days for $69. For myself, Jim, and the rest of the team, Dan and Jan, we are running a special for 30 days, $100 off. So if you want all the plays for the next 30 days, again, we've done really, really well the last couple weeks. We were recording this on Thursday. We had a bad loss today, and this is why we say buy a package, not just a play. Don't just go get one play. You want to see all the sports that we can do for you. We hit a really nice 4% baseball today. We got baseball. We have 3 cricket plays that are up just for this weekend. Dan has a massive lacrosse play that goes off. We have a 5% boxing play that is up. It's baseball season, so we got baseball props. We still have NBA and NHL. There are
motorsports. I mean,
we got NASCAR and Formula One. Yes. Someone reached out to me today and was like, "Hey, the next 6 days, do you think you'll have a decent amount of plays?" I was like, "Yes, I do."
That's an understatement.
I do. We're gonna have a lot of plays, so across all sports. So it's a no-brainer just to knock $100 off of 30 days. Been seeing everything really, really well. Plus 32 units just in the last couple of weeks on Wager Talk units. So really excited about that. WT.buzz/AL. Just go to Wager Talk and click on experts and go to Andy Link's profile page, and you're gonna get every single one of them. All right, let's do PFL Pittsburgh. We have kind of discovered that maybe PFL's back, baby. Maybe we're back to the predictable ways.
We speak about leadership with the UFC, and we can speak about leadership in the PFL. You know when your football team hires a coach and you know instantly you got the guy? I think the PFL might have got the guy here. I really do, based off these matchups and the way they're building them up, and they're getting more exposure. I like where this organization is headed. They rushed to move away from the tournament format. I think they did it with the wrong leadership in place, and they didn't know what they were. Well, we'll just do the same fights. It's just not a tournament. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I think they really got it narrowed down to what they want to be and who they want to be and what kind of fights they want to put on. So to me, based off our paper trading for 2 weeks, the PFL is back. And if we're back to what we were a year ago in PFL, we are going to start firing away for PFL. I believe we already have 2 plays loaded for PFL that are going to be coming out, and we're looking to add more. So, like we said, get 30 days plays is going to get you a lot of MMA plays.
All right, let's do it. Let's break down some plays. You told me I'm going to laugh at this guy that Dupross is facing. Ethan Goss. This guy's from Pittsburgh. Pretty sure that's why he's fighting on this card. The reason why I think he's from Pittsburgh is because he's fought in 247 FC Brawl in the Berg 25 and 247 FC Brawl in the Berg 28. This fight against Pregande, he looked absolutely awful in there. I think Dupross kind of rolls him in this one.
This is Dupross submission round 1. This is one of our favorite angles, which is the local fighter that they did to go. Ethan Goss, I mean, grew up in Pittsburgh. What a joy to be able to fight in front of his. I'm sure he's got a lot of friends here, Randy, right?
Oh, a lot of friends and family.
Crowd. Okay, the fight starts. Dupross has the back, got the choke in. Well, trot him on out. This is them getting Dupross right. Dupross is a guy that they want to push, and we like him. He went for it against who was it that he went for with the choke last year? I got to reacquaint myself.
Nathan
Braga.
Kelly?
Braga.
Oh, Braga,
remember?
that's right.
Had Braga in a world of hurt. It was like,
yes,
I am going for this, and if I don't get it, I'm out. Like what it was, right? But then responds with beating Nathan Kelly the way that you're supposed to do, a highly touted prospect that wasn't as good as everybody thought he was, a protected Bellator fighter. And they're going to build this kid up. It's going to be him in round 1. I'm waiting for totals to come out, but this will be one where I will play the under 1.5. I think the second that Dupross gets to his back, this night is over.
I kind of like Josh Friend in this one against this El Silwali guy. Yes, PFL Meta. You want a split decision. I don't think Fremd is horrible on the regional scene and in PFL. I actually think he's going to be pretty physical. This guy lost to Kopylov, had a bunch of fights canceled, loses to Petrosky, had another fight canceled. I love that he has a bare knuckle fighting championship fight in April, so he's going to fight in PFL and then go bare knuckle. Yeah. Josh Friend probably gets his ass whooped in bare knuckle. That doesn't strike me as the right career move for Friend. I think he's pretty decent with grappling. I kind of like Friend. What do you think?
On the feet, here's my problem with El Sawadi. A lot of miles. We're creeping up on 30 fights. Been knocked out. That's the other issue. And honestly, not the best level of competition. You go back to these older fights. I mean, this guy has a loss to Solomon Renfro. A knockout loss to Solomon Renfro. That's a problem. Magomed Olmatov can't even get his ass into the cage anymore. He's got a loss to him. Wins over the ageless wonder, Gleason Tebow. Like, this was a guy that they put in here to build that India connection. He's very, very popular. There's been a lot of injuries. I think Fremd could surprise some people here. I kind of like Fremd. I agree with you. You know he's training because he's got a busy card coming up. He's got another fight. By the way, just for fun, who's Josh Fremd's opponent? Do we have an opponent listed for his bare knuckle?
For bare knuckle?
Because this could be if we bet Fremd and we win. Okay. Listen, here's the play. Here's his play. If you guys are in your car when you get home, please look up this. We're betting Josh Fremd.
We're betting Josh Fremd heavy in bare knuckle. If he's
no. We're going to bet him in PFL. Okay.
Oh, we're going to bet him in PFL.
Yeah, and if he beats Al Sawadi, we're going to roll all that profit right over to him in bare knuckle.
I like it.
Right over it to bare knuckle.
The Josh Fremd, let it ride.
That sealed it for me. We're betting Josh Fremd in this fight. I think, in all seriousness, I do think he could fare well in the PFL.
All right, let's blow through these fights. Alora Donna versus Tatiana. Every time I look at her, Andy, get your mind out of the gutter. Her last name looks like porn star to me.
Just go with Tati.
All right, we'll go Tatiana. I don't know anything about her. Do you?
She is a highly touted prospect. She's fought absolutely nobody. Nobody that will give her any kind of resistance. 6-0, light on experience. Not impressed. Not impressed when you look at her tape. She's had literally no resistance at all. She's itching to play grappling. I think Aloradana, with her experience that she had last year, fighting Liz Carmouche, having another fight in the PFL where she got a win. I like Aloradana as the underdog. If she cannot, if Tatiana cannot dominate the wrestling, Aloradana is live for sure.
Okay. Rodriguez, Kikuri. I cannot say this guy's name. What do you think?
I'll make this easy for everyone. Total pass. No bet whatsoever. And you have to do this with PFL. No bet.
All right, Robert Watley and Dakota Bush. I got to be honest. I told you, I was like, oh, I think Dakota Bush sucks. And then I looked him up, and I was thinking of somebody else. I had a different fighter pictured. Dakota Bush going to work the takedowns, try and get the wrestling. If he doesn't, Watley murders him on the feet. Watley, we correctly predicted Watley as the underdog against Mads Burnell because we thought he could survive and then get the finish late. But this worries me a little bit because Watley, he can get taken down. If he can stuff the takedown, it's Watley's going to finish him. He's got cardio for days. Dakota Bush, it's just kind of hard to figure out what to make of him because, this guy had a couple fights in UFC and it did not go well. And since then, he's run the table on the scene, on the regional scene, but it's all about the takedowns and control time. Where do you stand on Watley and Bush?
Watley can wrestle. That's where I came to with this. And if you go to Dakota Bush, yeah, guy got cut from the UFC, did really good on the regionals. The promotions that he's fighting in are notorious for setting up fights. Don't look at the records. Find yourself some tape and watch the actual tape of the guys that he's fighting. And they had no business being in the cage with him. I mean, honestly, look at the numbers because that'll tell you enough right there. And then when you go and you watch Joe Giannetti, you're going to wonder where the hell he got 17 wins from. Where did Scotty Stockman get 10 wins from? Okay? Watley has turned a corner in his career, and I loved what he did against Mads Burnell. He weathered the storm. He used every facet of MMA. The cardio held up, and he pushed for a finish in the third. I think Watley's someone that they want to build around. I don't think they're bringing in Dakota Bush to be the guy. I think this is a spot where Watley can get a name on his record of a former UFC fighter and move up the rankings, and they can book him in bigger fights. I love Watley in this spot. I'm not going to put stock in who Dakota Bush has been fighting.
Schulte and Kazuba, over.
Yeah. I don't need Natan Schulte coming back after a layoff. Okay, after the infamous Godfather fight.
It was literally the Godfather fight. Yeah, PFL made these two guys fight, and one of them's the godfather of the other one's baby. They're like best friends, and they went on. They put on a 50%. I mean, they fought at 50%. There was no hard strikes.
Yeah, it was a sparring session.
And the fight was so bad, PFL kicked them both out of PFL and ruled the fight no contest. So he hasn't fought since then, which is really crazy. So, yeah, this is going to be a boring fight.
Yeah, the thing is, Kazuba's not a finisher. He'll finish somebody who's horrible. He might get a late stoppage and somebody gasses, but this is a 3-round fight. This is going to be a tight decision. I think that Schulte is better than a lot of guys Kazuba's fought, but just take the over, man. Take it over. Take decision. Call it a day.
Bagoso and Jack Cartwright. Jack Cartwright. I did really well betting on Jose Johnson against him on Contender Series. I don't trust this guy as far as I can throw him, and I can't throw him very far. He did win against Colin Loughran, but this will be a pass for me. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a pass for me as well. If anything, I'm just finding plus money in this fight somewhere. This is going to be shady. We got two guys that lost on Contender Series trying to get into the UFC that they're slamming together in a fight. Pass.
Dayron by murder over Thrall. We can move on to Pergande.
You have to show. Please click on Thrall's profile picture.
Yeah, that doesn't put a lot of faith. Doesn't lead me to believe.
It's Dayron by finish. If you could find a book, that'll take it.
I really wish I could find some footage on Throwtown in Joetown. This man got knocked out in a boxing match in Throwdown in Joetown. So I will be out on Thrall. Dayron by however he wants. Pergande versus Julio Arce. You were saying that Arce looks like he's 80 years old.
He does. He's got a very, very weathered face. And for 27 pro fights and a lot of injuries, it makes sense. That profile picture's from about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, so that's a problem. So since he's left the UFC, what have we got from him? He fights Herbert Burns, gets the knockout, because it's Herbert
And they
Burns.
cut him.
And they cut him. They either cut him or he just didn't want to re-up. They didn't offer him anything. Shaman Moraes goes to decision. Fights a guy who's 26-14 and gets the KO. Pergande is a blue chip prospect. I know he's 7-0. I know he's young, but this guy's legitimate. And when these two faced off, Pergande is a whole head higher than him. I think the movement's going to be too much. It's Pergande by decision.
Lipski and Inaba. What do we do with this one?
I like Lipski in this fight. I think she's going to do more damage. The thing that I'm worried about is that the judges and the PFL love Inaba. They love her. They will
stupid
talk her up.
Bullshit about when she It doesn't mean she actually landed a strike. It drives me up the fucking wall when they fall for this stuff. Like, oh yeah. Like it's just like listen, when Sabalenka does it when she hits a forehand, at least it goes in. But when Inaba does it, she's just hitting air, and the judge is like, well, she ki'd. A lot of kias.
She throws in these combinations and makes noises, so she gets points for it. So I'm worried about the volume of her trumping Lipski. Now, if Lipski decides to grapple, she could look minus 300 if she could get this on the ground and on top. Remember, she's got a great ground game submission-wise. Look who this woman's been fighting.
I know.
Jazz, Karine Silva, Casey ONeil, Melissa Gatto. These are all very, very good fighters. These last three specifically was like a murderer's row at the time. That wasn't the head case Karine Silva either. That was the terrifying rip your leg off Karine Silva. She's a little bit bigger than Inaba. If this goes to the ground, I think I think there's a reason why Lipski is favored coming off of 3 losses in a PFL fight.
Dalton Rosta against Impa, our boy Impa. We've made a lot of money on Impa. We've had a fantastic read on him. I think the end is near for Impa. I just don't see it anymore. It took him 3 rounds to get Andrew Sanchez out of there, and he did not look good in doing it. In fact, I think he was losing that fight until then. So speed isn't there. Durability isn't there. Cardio isn't there. He peaked a while ago, and Dalton Rosta is just younger, more aggressive. I got Dalton Rosta in this one.
I heard somebody say that Impa was cruising to a win and then went after the finish against Sanchez. They thought that Impa was clearly winning that fight against Sanchez.
Cruising to a win?
I could tell you guys, and you're going to agree with me. Impa 1,000% was losing that fight. There was no doubt about it. We were ripping up the ticket. It was over.
We were dead.
And he gets the miracle knockout because why? It's Andrew Sanchez. If Dalton Rosta fought Andrew Sanchez, Dalton Rosta's not a big finisher. He gets a finish inside of 2 rounds against Andrew Sanchez. You nailed it. Impa, it's been a great run. One of my biggest wins of my career was on Impa. It was Parlay Impa with everything week, and I just think he's done. Keep in mind, where's the motivation? He's already won. He's already won the $1 million. He's already got paid from PFL. What do we do from here? What are you going to do? Have him fight Johnny Eblin? You already fought Johnny. You lost. You going to fight the champ? Costello Vanstinas kills him. So it's Rosta. It's a great rebound spot for Rosta. Get a big name on his record. Impa saying that he's going to knock Rosta out in round 1 is one of the most comical things that I've heard. It's not happening. This fight's going the distance. It's going to be a Rosta decision.
All right, finally, Johnny Eblin, Brian Battle. money, like you said, pouring it. He's at like minus 500.
Yeah,
Y'all have fun on your minus 500 on Johnny Eblen versus Brian Battle. I don't see it.
not minus 500. I don't.
No,
I think
no.
that's insane. We have a guy who was the champ who lost the belt. Can anybody tell me how the script goes? It's very hard to get back to that spot. The winner of this fight gets a rematch. I know they want Eblen to win. They want him to come back and be able to have the rematch against Van Steenis, especially after he got rid of Edwards. They got a guy in Brian Battle that was cut from the UFC, not because he sucks, because he missed weight and he was a pain in the ass to deal with. And he went out, he did his dirty boxing thing. He admitted how wrong he was, admitted that his life was in shambles, had a big giant mess with his wife at the time, or was it his baby mama? They figured some things out. I think Brian Battle's looking to make a home, and I thought it was real crafty of him to start trying to get underneath the skin of Johnny Eblen. Johnny Eblen is somebody who you can get fired up. When you challenge him to do something, you can get him to stand. You can get him to trade. So what happens when the takedown doesn't come? Brian Battle in a bloodbath against Johnny Eblen? I'm going Brian Battle. I think this is a nightmare if it doesn't end up being a takedown fight.
Yeah, I mean, people are already penciling in that Johnny Eblen's going to wrestle him for 3 rounds. Really? Are you in the camp? Are you in these training sessions? Are you 100% sure about it? Because Brian Battle isn't great at wrestling, but he's decent enough in the clinch and striking wise. Yeah, it's Battle. So I'm with you that the price. I probably haven't bet it, but I just know 100% I'm not putting a minus 500 on Johnny Eblen in any parlays. Like this could go horribly wrong with Johnny Eblen. So
just remember, Eblen couldn't wrestle Impa for 5 rounds. That was a stand-up fight.
True. So, all right, time for Parlay Buster and woulda, coulda, shoulda. This is fun, Jim, because we can use PFL or UFC. So, let's start with the Parlay Buster. Who is it? Johnny Eblen? You going with Johnny Eblen as the Parlay Buster? You want to go?
I'm having a hard time finding one better. Parlay Buster. No. I would say Eblen's going to be. Well, we know Eblen's going to be parlayed. First of all, obviously based on the money coming in, that is happening. You think Tyrell Fortune's getting parlayed as a favorite? That one.
I mean,
me.
money keeps coming in on him. I can't figure it out. I don't know why people are like, you know who I can't wait to put my money on is Tyrell Fortune.
Well, Eblen's too obvious of a play because it's PFL, and we all know that everything gets parlayed with the main event in PFL. So let's go to Tyrell Fortune. I'll go Fortune. I'll take the plus money on the real UFC fighter.
Okay. I would throw Terrence McKinney as a potential parlay buster. I'll go for a big one, Larry and Douglas.
That's a good one.
Yeah, minus 360. He's definitely going to be in people's parlays. Oh, I watched him on LFA. Great. And then all of a sudden there's Julian Erosa ripping his head off. So that'll be a weird one. Would be Larry and Douglas. So, all right. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I got mine.
What's a bet that we're like, man, we should have made way more money on that one? What do you got?
It's Michael Chiesa by finish. I know it's not a sexy number at minus 160, but when Nico Price walks out with a stupid haircut, shorts that don't fit, one knee brace,
limping,
as happy could be that he's getting a paycheck, and Chiesa climbs him like a swing set and chokes him out in 2 minutes, I don't think I'm going to be able to have enough money on the retirement king, Nico Price, at this point. And keep him coming. Let's get him a fight in 2 weeks after this, too. Keep it coming, Nico.
All right. Dalton Rosta could look like a pretty good one, but I'm just going to – it's Joe Pyfer at plus money. If he sparks Izzy and knocks him out, we're just going to be sitting there being like, God, of course. It's real Adesanya. This is the post Alex Pereira fight. So I'll go Joe Pyfer at plus money when he gets the finish over Izzy as the woulda, coulda, shoulda. So all right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks very much, guys. Please hit the like button, leave us a comment, tell us your best bet on the card. Tell us if you agree, disagree with anything you've seen in this video. Be respectful or don't be respectful. I don't care. But if you want to win a free 3-day pass, how many significant strikes are there going to be in the main event with Pyfer and Adesanya? So goes the distance, you're going to have a lot of them. Doesn't go the distance, you might not have very many of them. So should have some good guesses. So thanks very much for joining us, guys. Good luck on your bets. And we'll see everyone Saturday on Takedown Live on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. Good luck.